hero meta constantly changes in Call of Dragons. That's why it's really important to understand which heroes are good and bad in a current season, right? Right now we are playing in Season of Stripe 6. I mean, we're gonna go there, but it's important for me to share my ideas because that's the reason why I created the channel, right? Today we are going to speak regarding Archer hero tier list. We are having here every single Archer legendary hero, and the tier list will be about open field PvP, right? So let's not waste too much time, and let's start our tier list of Archer heroes, right? I'm gonna start from the lower tier, the C tier, which will be the worst one out of every hero, right? We are comparing Archer heroes to each other, right? So, in my opinion, one of the worst heroes in open field PvP. If we are comparing to every Archer hero to each other, I believe it's Sibyl, right? Of course, some players might have a different opinion regarding Sibyl, but I believe her main idea is to be rally leader. She is great with the rallies. But for open field, I believe there are many Archer heroes, basically almost every single one of them, who are better than Sibyl, right? Of course, if you are tier 5 player and you want to have good Archer legendary hero, well, you have Syndrion, which is quite nice, and you have second one, which is Sibyl, right? For the PvP open field, I believe she doesn't even have a clear-cut hero pair where she works amazingly like Sibyl came out with Fulgrim, and I believe Fulgrim is not the perfect hero pair for Sibyl, right? Some players are using Sibyl with Inara, Sibyl with like other heroes, but generally that's not the good way because I have not really seen a good Sibyl hero pair besides Fulgrim, and well, Fulgrim and Sibyl doesn't really do too much. They are like average hero pair, right? So yeah, that's the main reason why I believe Sibyl is C tier. Maybe in the future we're gonna get something better, and Sibyl will have a good hero pair, but so far, I believe not having an exclusive weapon as an artifact, because the Iron Tusk is the Fulgrim's artifact, is actually matters, right? Maybe in the future we're gonna have something really good for Sibyl, and she will have a place in our meta, right? Because yeah, I believe she's not that impressive. I believe the C tier will be lonely for Sibyl, and we're gonna easily move forward to B tier, right? In B tier, I believe we have a couple of choices, and I believe if you guys have seen my videos, you know that I generally don't rate Syndrion. I don't rate Freygar, like this hero pair. Don't really rate too much. I believe they're average. They are like same tier as Kinara and Nico, and they are basic heroes, right? So, of course, if you were tier 5 player and you were fighting against tier 4 players, Syndrion and Freygar will be amazing, but if you are fighting with the same power level players as you, Syndrion and Freygar is going to give you almost same amount of merits as every single Archer hero, right? So yeah, I believe Syndrion is better than Sibyl, especially for open field, and actually the main reason is that Syndrion has Freygar, right? And when Syndrion and Freygar are together, the gold crest has a more additional effects, and it makes the artifact and hero pair even better, right? And I believe in general Syndrion outperforms Sibyl in purely open field section of the game. That's my reasoning why I choose to put Syndrion as a better version as for open field as Sibyl, right? The next hero in our B tier will be Freygar. And you might ask why the Syndrion and Freygar B tier. I will repeat, I don't rate them that much, right? Freygar is kinda better than Syndrion because Freygar's every single skill is usable in open field battle. Syndrion has one skill for rally, and Sybil also has one skill for rally. I believe Syndrion is much better. I'm not like I believe Freygar is much better than Syndrion in open field. So um, left side will be for Freygar, and Syndrion will be right side, right? On my B tier, I have one more hero, which is going to be even better than Syndrion, and let me tell you why, right? Nico before was a little bit weaker because he had the engineering skill as a second skill. Right now, after the update, Nico has HP buff and March speed on second skill, which is, I believe, one of the best attributes for archers. HP, attack, and March speed is the best attributes in my opinion for archers. That's why right now every single skill is usable for Nico in open field, and I believe even Nico will be better than Freygar, right? Every single skill is usable. Awakening skill is nice, and Nico's synergy with defense break we have with the warpates, we have with multiple artifacts. Nico also has a different kinds of hero pairs where you can match him. So basically, universally you're gonna use Nico way more. And Syndrion and Freygar, they are kind of locked together, so that's I believe that's one of the weakness of these two, right? So that's another reason why I believe Nico is really valuable for archer players, even for beginners, and even during the late game because Nico has a different ways of playing. And also defense break is kind of really good synergy because we can see how powerful infantry players are in our game, right? And yeah, that's the main reason why I believe Nico is even better than Syndrion and Freygar in open field, and that's my honest opinion, right? We're gonna finish up the B tier with these three legendary heroes, archer legendary heroes, and we're gonna move to A tier, which we are getting closer to S, right? In A tier, I believe I'm gonna put Kinara, and you guys might say it's totally wrong. It might be wrong, but Kinara is my favorite hero since the day one. I like the versatility of Kinara. I like the control talent tree. I like the like counterattack damage on archer heroes. I rate it a lot. That was one of the main reasons why I started to be archer main, because not only archers were dealing a lot of damage, not only it was hard to play as an archer, but also if enemy is hitting you, you are dealing a lot of damage, especially if you have Kinara in your team, right? Of course, some physical attack, which was amazing for the season 1 heroes, but of course in like season 3 the 30% is not much. But yeah, we're gonna give same treat as we gave to Nico. Kinara has a lot of hero pairs where she's really good. And that's one of the reasons why I also like her, right? Also, we have exclusive artifact for Kinara, which is nice, not amazing in terms of skill, but in terms of stats and what it actually gives, which is defense penetration. Rattle Spear is really good choice, right? So yeah, Kinara, I believe. Yeah, you can easily go Kinara B tier, but because Kinara is my personal favorite hero, that's another reason why I'm putting Kinara on A tier, right? Yeah, we have one more hero in our tier list on A tier, and that's of course Falgrim, right? Whenever we are speaking about open field heroes, we always have to understand that AoE damage matters from the heroes, right? If your hero is dealing damage to multiple targets, it basically guarantees that you're gonna have more merits with the hero who is dealing damage with the multiple targets, right? Um, Falgrim can deal damage to 2 nearby enemies by the skill. I really rate Falgrim's Awakening skill, which is amazing for skill damage users. We also have Barbed Manticore, which is great warped for a skill damage user archers. And we have also exclusive artifact, which is Iron Tusk for the Falgrim, right? Which makes one of the best archer heroes to get merits in open field. And trust me, if you have a correct hero pair with the correct talents and correct orbit, you are going to get a lot of merits with Falgrim. You are for sure getting a lot of merits than Syndron and Freygar, than Kinara and Nico. And yeah, that's only two things which I just mentioned is worth me to say that Falgrim is A tier, right? Of course, the difference is pretty huge. Falgrim and Sibyl came out together, but yeah, Falgrim is just 10 times better than Sibyl whenever we are talking about the open field PvP, right? So yeah, I believe the Falgrim and Inara will be my two A-tier legendary archer heroes, which I'm gonna keep. And yeah, finally, we are going to the S tier. When at the start of the video, I mentioned that legendary heroes meta changes almost every single month, but for archers, it basically stays same since the introduction of the Magrat, right? Magrat is the most unique hero in the game, which has one of the unique abilities and one of the best abilities actually for archer gameplay, right? More enemies you are defeating in the fight as at the Magrat in your hero pair, more healing you are getting in the battle, right? That's of course great for merits because healing also gives you a lot of merits in Call of Dragons. And yeah, basically that's two things, like a lot of physical attack, you are defeating a lot of enemies, and by defeating a lot of enemies, you are getting a lot of troops back in your team, right? Of course, Magrat would never be alone, and Magrat and Zaida would be always the number one choice for the archer gameplay, right? Here we have one of the best, not one of the best, the best hero pair in the game in terms of getting merits. Basically, if we're gonna compare S tier legendary heroes for archers, I believe Magrat and Zaida is at least 3x or at least double the amount of merits if we are comparing to every single other archer hero pair in the game, right? Of course, Shadow Manticore will be the choice for this hero pair, and for the artifact, yet again, best archer artifact in the game, Gilded Crossbow, which is the exclusive artifact for this hero pair, right? So yeah, let's easily conclude our archer tier list. Of course, there might be a lot of players who would disagree. That's the beauty of the content, that's the beauty of this kind of games, that every single player might have a different idea. By my 900 days of gameplay, which I played Call of Dragons consecutively, I believe this is the Archer tier list, which is one of the most honest ones from my own gameplay. And yeah, I truly believe this tier list, and I believe Magrat and Zaida is like 3 times better than anything else. And then we are comparing these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 heroes to each other, right? And from here, for open field, Falgrim is the best one. Inara, my favorite, most versatile. Nico, Syndron, and Freygar, I believe they are in the same tier here. So yeah, that's the tier list for archer heroes, archer legendary heroes. The tips and advices from this tier list is that, well, you can easily manage your legendary tokens and invest in legendary archer heroes, whichever more experienced archer players are advising, right? Of course, if you want to have some proofs from where I'm speaking about, you can basically check my YouTube channel. Every single important thing which I have done on the account is basically there. Almost every single PvP open field gameplay moment is there, and every single hero I acquired, and so on. So basically, proof is my channel. Like I believe for 2 years I have been making the content for archer players, and here we are. So far, this is the tier list. Next legendary heroes will be actually archers. So I'm of course waiting if the new archer heroes will be better than Magrat and Zaida, and I believe they will, because Falgrim and Sibyl have not been the better version of Magrat and Zaida in open field, right? So yeah, let's see. Soon we're gonna have some patch notes regarding new heroes, and hopefully they will be great, right? As always, share your ideas, share your thoughts about the tier list, and yeah, if you like the video, press like, subscribe, share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody amazing day, morning, and night. We are going to see each other really, really soon. Bye bye and good luck.